Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about Cassian Andor, Kevin Feige and more. As always my dear Megalorians, before we dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we're going to begin with the Rogue One spin-off Andor. We have some really big cast news. The first new addition to the show is Robert Emms, the actor from Chernobyl and his Dark Materials. This is from Deadline and they state the following. Robert Emms has joined the cast of Andor, which is currently filming in the UK. The action-adventure series centres on Cassian Andor, Diego Luna's character from Rogue One. The show takes place in the early days of the rebellion, even earlier in the timeline than Rogue One. Alongside Diego Luna we have Adria Arjona, Denise Goh, Genevieve O'Reilly, Stellan Skarsgård, Fiona Shaw and Carl Soller. Toby Haynes is lead director of the 12-episode first season, which is due to launch in 2022. Ben Carson and Susanna White will also direct episodes. Filming for the series is going to wrap up this summer. So evidently guys, there's a lot of talented people working on Andor and they just got another amazing actor, Robert Emms. But this, my dear Megalorians, is not the only Andor cast news that we have, because joining Emms is Nick Blood, who's going to be playing a rebel spy by the name of Kimsey, and Roger Van Versan is playing a character called Felzonis. So we really have a lot to look forward to. I don't really have much to say on these characters because they're new to the Star Wars franchise, and as such we can't really speculate on who they are and the role they're going to play in the show. Having said that guys, I want to talk a little bit more about the Andor series, specifically Coruscant. So the other day I was reading through some of your guys' comments, and yes I do read them, and one in particular really stood out. Someone asked me when I think we'll next see Coruscant in live action. So I dwelled on this for a little while and it made me think how it's such a shame we haven't gone back there since Revenge of the Sith, because Coruscant played such a huge part in the prequel trilogy and you think we would have revisited it properly since then. The thing is, Lucasfilm were holding out for a big Coruscant moment in episode 9, but that was under Colin Trevorrow's script and not the one by J.J. Abrams. So had we got Duel of the Fates instead of The Rise of Skywalker, we would have seen Coruscant prominently in episode 9. But obviously that never happened, so I went digging and tried to figure out when are we next going to see Coruscant in live action, and the answer was staring at me in the face. We're going to see Coruscant in Andor. So you might be wondering, how do I know this? Well, if you watch the sizzle reel trailer and you pause it at the moment that we see Michael Wilkinson, who's currently working as the costume designer on the series, you can see in the background costumes of high society Coruscant partygoers. It's pretty unmistakable if you know about the different levels on Coruscant and what people wore, especially to parties. Now I know there's going to be that one person who's typing a comment about how we saw Coruscant in Rogue One, but that was too brief and in flashbacks, and I want to see the planet properly. Make it prominent, we owe the planet that much. Now knowing our luck as a Star Wars fandom, these high-class partygoers could be on Canto Bight or something like that, but I really hope it's Coruscant. So with that in mind guys, let's move on to our next article. We're going to be talking about Loki writer Michael Waldron, who's broken silence on his Star Wars project with Kevin Feige. So the article says Loki's Michael Waldron has skyrocketed in recent years as a writer in Hollywood. His career began as an assistant on the Dan Harmon created comedy Community. This led him to work on the hit TV series Rick and Morty. From there, his work won him the job of head writer on Marvel's Loki, co-writing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness for the House of Ideas, and even a Star Wars project with Kevin Feige. In a new interview with Vanity Fair, Waldron offered his first public comments about the project that he's developed in a galaxy far, far away. In his own words, he says the following: "You've heard all my references here. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Kathleen Kennedy, she's made so many of my favourite movies. To get to collaborate with both of those entities is a dream come true." The writer also spoke about his childhood influences, noting that Star Wars was among them. He says, "I grew up a pro wrestling guy, probably more of a Star Wars guy." So he says he's a wrestling guy, he says he's a Star Wars guy, but I don't see him saying that he's a family guy. But anyway, back to the article. So he talks about the fact that Kathleen Kennedy is one of his biggest influences and states that she made some of his favourite movies of all time. Now I know she gets a lot of hate from the Star Wars fans, but outside of a galaxy far, far away, she's been involved in a lot of projects. And this is either as an executive producer or as a producer. For example, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the whole Jurassic Park franchise, Back to the Future, The Goonies, Schindler's List, and The Sixth Sense. And those are just some of the titles, but I know her involvement is controversial, especially especially in regard to how she got into the position that she's in. But either way, it's a common trend that people in the entertainment industry speak highly of her, and whether that's being genuine or just to suck up to her is a completely different debate. The article goes on to say Dan Harmon, who's worked with Waldron on 3 different shows, also spoke to the outlet about his collaborator's work ethic and how he thinks he's going to be able to fit into the realm of Star Wars. Dan Harmon stated the following: "Star Wars is definitely sticky because if you make a certain brand of nerd happy, you're actually middle fingering an adjacent breed of nerd. If you take it too seriously, you're doing it wrong. If you don't take it seriously enough, you're definitely doing it wrong. It needs that total joy of the greatest franchise ever, along with a kind of swagger." I couldn't have worded it any better because let's be honest, all Star Wars fans want something different. And we all have our own headcanon, our own ideas about what we'd like in a Star Wars film, and we're definitely not a monolith. But the good news for Waldron is that he's not only a Star Wars guy, but Kevin Feige is as well. So hopefully we'll have more details on Kevin Feige and Waldron's project soon. So finally, my dear friends, we're going to be talking about Emilia Clarke. The other day I spoke about how Qi'ra is back in War of the Bounty Hunters and how we might see her in the Book of Boba Fett. Well, it turns out that Emilia Clarke got the news, and she's responded to Qi'ra's surprise return in Star Wars. Game of Thrones fan favourite Emilia Clarke has responded to the return of her solo character to the Star Wars universe, admitting quote unquote that it means so much. Emilia portrayed Qi'ra in Solo: A Star Wars Story, and now the scumrat turned Crimson Dawn leader has reappeared in War of the Bounty Hunters. Clearly moved by Qi'ra's continued role in a galaxy far, far away, Emilia told comicbook.com that it means so much. To quote her directly, she said, "It means the absolute world. I know her backstory, I know her history. Maybe the movie didn't go there, but that was such an honour and privilege to be part of the universe as an actor." Although it's uncertain whether Emilia will bring Qi'ra to the big or small screen again, it's not surprising to learn that the actress is happy for the franchise to continue telling her story. But what do you guys make of this, and do you think we might see Qi'ra in the Mandalorian universe? Let me know your thoughts on this and all of today's update in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and also be sure to hit that bell. If you're feeling generous, please also consider becoming a patron. The link is in the description, and we have 5 tiers. On Patreon, you get access to exclusive content that's not found here on YouTube, as well as many other perks too. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.